What's up, guys? This is David from BinaryOptionsDaily.com and BinaryOptionsEdge.com. So today we're going to be going over the indicator tester, which can basically help you write some rules for your strategy and figure out if it is hopefully going to be profitable or not. Now there are some little issues with it, but we will go over that as we get further into the video. So the first thing that you need to do is with the file that you will find on the forum, you can open up your broker folder, go to the MQL4 folder, and then go to the indicators folder, and then you can drop in your indicator in here, and that will allow you to use it inside MetaTrader 4. So I'll go ahead and close that out. Now, as soon as you open this file, what you'll notice is you've got a decent amount of code in here. So you're not really going to have to worry about any of this stuff right here until you start getting into where it has the doubles in here, where it's got all these doubles. And you're going to go all the way about to right before the print stuff starts. So the doubles are essentially variables and are indicators that you can use with specific settings to code and write your rules for. Now your rules are going to be right between these two lines right here, these two parentheses. So the rules here for bearish signal or put. So if you're going to be doing rules for a put, you're going to want them here. Everything's going to be between these two little parentheses. And if you're wanting to do a call, your rules are going to be right here between these two parentheses. And you're not going to have to change really anything in this bottom section. So let's just go ahead and test out and write an indicator. Let's try and do something fairly simple. So let me pull up my broker real quick. So I'm just using Trader's Way. Now, before we actually dive into it, I kind of want to just show you what it looks like when you actually drag the indicator tester on the chart. So I had a previous one already loaded, but if you open up your terminal with this button right here, turn it off and on, and make sure you're under the Experts tab. Whenever you finish loading up your basically your rules and have the indicator tester already on the chart, it will refresh and start going through all the wins and losses, and it will count and show you this right here and basically say, all right, it's had 998 wins, 138 ties, 1,042 losses for a total of that many trades at a percentage of 45%. So it's just a quick, easier way to test out some strategies. So what I'm thinking is, let's go ahead and I'm just going to clear that out so you can not see those crazy arrows and everything. So if you want to just clear everything out, just type false in both these little areas right there, and then you need to compile it. And we'll go back in so you can see that removed all the arrows. So we've got 0 wins, 0 ties, 0 losses, 0 trades, 0%. So let's just do something fairly simple. I'll just remove the moving averages. And let's just take for example, if we had 3 bars in a row and we want to do the opposite right after it's got 3 bars in a row. So let's write some rules for that. So we'll pull back up our strategy tester, or the code for it. So this is where you're going to actually have to come back up and start looking at some of the rules right here. And the rules for these doubles are things that you can change and you can write your own. These are just some I've put in there that I've been using. So what we're going to be looking for is this double right here is basically saying on the close of the current bar, or sorry, of the previous bar. So if you've got anything that says current plus 1 is going to be the previous bar. So that's 1 bar back. If you see current plus 2, that means it's going to be 2 bars back. If you see current plus 0, that means it's actually the current bar. So 0 is always the current, and if you keep adding, every plus 1 that you add is going to be another bar back. So this is 6 bars back. So let's go ahead and write this rule set. Alright, so for a call down here, what we're going to say is if we have the open of the first candle, and let's see, so if we want to basically say that if we have 3 reds in a row, we want to call it. So if our open is greater than the close, the open of the last candle is greater than the close of the last candle, and the open of the second candle back is greater than the close of the second candle back. And then we do, basically I forgot to mention this, but if you're doing in double and signs, that just means this has to happen too, like it's and this. So we'll be doing the open of the third candle back has to be greater than the open, or sorry, the close of the third candle back. So what this is saying is the open right here has to be higher than the close down here, and the open here has to be higher than the close down here, and the open here has to be higher than the close down here. So once we get this, and we may want to do something where, in case it has a waterfall, we may want to say the previous bar has to be green. So it's always going to have, it's kind of like a 4 bar setup. So let's go ahead and add the 4th bar and basically say that has to be green. So if we want to say that has to be green, we'll say the open of the 4th bar has to be less than the close of the 4th bar. So the 4th bar has to be higher than the open of the 4th. Alright, so once we got that, so this is set to false, so this means it's not going to process anything for bearish signals. But let's go ahead and run this and make sure that if we have 3 red candles in a row and the 4th one back was a green candle, that it's going to do a call. So we'll go ahead and compile this, open back up our MetaTrader, and you can see that we've got 3 in a row, and as soon as this bar opens it calls it, and it's doing it for the next couple minutes. So basically if you've got a check mark right here, it's just telling you if it won on the next bar. So it took it exactly where the arrow is, and it expired on the next candle. So that was basically a 1 pip win, and we're on a 1 minute chart right now. So but you can always flip around, so if you want to check 5 minute chart, it will plot on whichever bar, and you can see it running right now where it's got all the wins and losses coming through, and right after it calculates them all, it will tell you the number of wins and losses for it. So if we wanted to go ahead and do the exact opposite and have some puts in there, what we're going to want, instead of having 3 red bars down, we're going to want to have 3 green bars going up and then doing a put. So let's go ahead and do that. So we've got the open one, and basically you can almost just do the exact opposite of what we put down here. So open one has to be less than close one, so that means that the bar is going to be up, first bar back is going to be up. We do 2 and signs, open 2 has to be less than close 2, that means the second bar has to be up, and the open 3 has to be less than close 3, so the third bar has to be up. Now just like with the other one, we want to make sure that it only is taking it essentially 1 time and we're not getting in waterfalls. So we're going to do open 4 has to be greater than close 4, so that means that the 4th bar back has to be red. So if we go ahead and compile this. You can see right here, so we've started getting our puts. So we had 1, 2, 3, so it took it right here for a put, so that one lost. We had 1, 2, 3, it took it at the top right here, and it expired on this next candle. Down here for a win. So anytime it has a check mark, that means it won, and anytime it has an X, that means it lost. So you can kind of go back through and check these things. And it's not, the arrow is not going to be exactly where it took the trade. So for example, like this bar right here, we had our red bar, green, green, green. So that initiator setup, so it actually took it as soon as the bar opened right here. But if you notice, the arrow is all the way up there, so it did not take it up there. It's just showing you that it took it on this bar. So that one definitely is losing by a mile. So that's essentially how it works, and you can always go back through and start learning about these doubles and what the indicators and everything mean on the MetaTrader 4 coding site. So it would be something like this. Oops. Get it to work. There we go. So yeah, you've got all these different, indicators and stuff that you can test and mess around with. So if you look at, for example, if you were trying to use something like the Williams percentage range right here, which is the IWPR, which I've already got some of these put in there. But if you were looking to use that indicator, let's see, I've got some right here that are kind of already written, so you can just change how many bars back it is. You can change the period right here, and mess around with that as you want, and it'll tell you the settings for each one of these. So, like if we were looking, let's see. So like IWPR, the first one is null, so we're not saying that there's any particular symbol that goes along with this, so just use whatever the current one is that's on the chart. The time frame is the next part, so I just put 0, so it's just going to use the current on whatever time frame that I'm on. The period is 25, so you can always change this to whatever period, and you can always, like if you go back through, let's just say we wanted to add Williams real quick as an example. So this is the period in your indicator settings that you could change and edit. So to make that the same, that would be period 25 is what we have right there. And then where it has the shift, that just means how many bars back. So our current plus 6 bars back would be this one right here. So anyway, guys, you can definitely mess around with this. Let me know what you think. Basically, again, the way that it's set up, though, is it's always going to take at the open of the bar, and it's going to expire at the close of the next bar. So that's just the way that it's set up for back testing. But yeah, play around with this, guys, and let me know what you think. And hopefully we can all come up with some awesome strategies to mess around with. So, all right, guys, take it easy.